All right, music fans, welcome. Harmless Dave here on the Harmless Dave channel, talking about real music, real issues, stuff that I want to get off my chest here, and doing what I do in real time for a few real people just like you there, and just like me here. All right. So Eric Clapton is back in the United States. He's on tour currently, and you can go see him tomorrow night in Cleveland, Ohio. And if you decide to go, make sure you tell him that Harmless Dave said hello. Anyway, this is his album called Meanwhile. Fantastic album. Not sure if Eric is performing songs off of this. I did see him in one clip doing a stellar version of White Room. But anyway, this is a fantastic album. The rock media did not like this album because some of the lyrical content, according to them, bordered on conspiracy theories and paranoia. So Eric Clapton is back in the United States, and the last time he was here, I was reading reviews like, "Hey Eric, I hope you got your booster." One guy actually did a review saying, "I hope you got your booster." These people, I mean, the insanity of what happened continues on. All right. The new normal, it's still here. The resistance continues, even though the statistics make it seem like there was a little problem. There was a little problem. And some of us knew about it. Some of us didn't know about it, but suspected it. And so we decided to speak out about it. I was one of those guys. The only reason I have a relationship with Eric Clapton today is the fact that I was literally the only one on the internet defending Eric Clapton. Insane. He reached out to me, said, "Hey, what's going on?" I'm like, "Seriously, it's Eric Clapton?" I mean, one of the most surreal moments of my life. By the way, he's easygoing, humble, does not want to be the center of attention. If you know one thing, if you've learned anything from the talks I've had with Eric or just the things I've said about Eric, is he's the anti-celebrity. All right. Takes a few cues from his late friend JJ Cale, who is the same type of character, musically brilliant, but maybe misunderstood. And I think there's something about Eric Clapton that also has the same ring to it. Okay. But in any event, so he's back, and the rock media, they'll do these reviews where they say, "Yeah, he's fantastic. He sounds amazing. 80 years old. I can't believe it. Wow, he's playing great. He looks great. His band is great. Everything's great." Except, Eric caused quite a ruckus. Yeah, the most mild-mannered person in rock and roll, right? Along with maybe Van Morrison. And those two guys are your rebels. Those guys are the rebels. And said, "You know what? Maybe the government shouldn't lock everything down. Maybe we shouldn't all be in quarantine. Maybe we shouldn't be forced to take an experimental whatever. Maybe we shouldn't." Now, for the record, rock media, because you guys still talk about never setting the record straight, and they don't want to because they look like fools. Okay. They look like idiots. And I get so angry at this that, maybe I should back off the coffee a little bit at this stage. But how about an apology? How about an apology to Eric Clapton? I mean, as the years go by, this is going to come out as probably one of the biggest conspiracies. It already is out, but people just refuse to talk about it. Your local news won't talk about it, but they'll talk about the latest variant, which I had about a week ago. It's a cold. That's what I had. I had a cold. All right. Sore throat, cold, stuffy nose. Got through it in maybe less than a week. I was done with it. Still a little residual blowing of the nose and so forth, but nothing that the normal chicken soup protocol can't handle. But no, instead, we had to all rush out to CVS because you were going to kill grandma if you didn't do it. Well, to set the record straight about Eric Clapton, again, he got this thing twice. In other words, he didn't literally go to CVS probably, but somebody probably brought it to him, or maybe he did have to go to his doctor, and someone administered this to him twice. Okay? So he had two of these things. Two. Okay, media, two. Not zero. No, he didn't refuse to do it. And I'm still also pissed off about Robert Cray unfriending Eric Clapton. Well, it's just a bridge too far for me. This conspiracy theory stuff that he's spouting is just a bridge too far for me. Okay, Robert, great. Your career was helped along by who? Who was a primary mover getting you more exposure? Robert. And by the way, I like Robert Cray. I think he's an awesome musician. Great singer, great guitarist. I love his sound. I love his tone, his style, everything about him. But man, you think you know a guy, right? But you don't. Everything is political, right? And of course, they conflated something that Eric said like 50 years ago to his opinions on the medical industrial complex, which I don't know who's worse, if it's the military industrial, the media industrial, all these complexes. Do your own thing. Be your own person. Decide for yourself. Make your own decisions. Think for yourself. Don't trust the experts. I'm so tired of listening to these people saying, they're grilling RFK Jr. How many people died? Tell us how many. You don't think this many people died? I don't know how many people died. Because you can either die from something or with something, and those are two different things. They were saying that guys who were killed in motorcycle accidents, who had this supposed whatever it is, cold, died from the cold? No, they died from smashing into a car. But hey, just check it off. Check it off. If we can get more highway fatalities, we'll check them off, and then we can get more remdesivir sent to the hospital. This is great. It's great, so I don't know. This really just roils me. I got to say this. It just ticks me off to no end, because all Eric did was say, you know what, I did too. I'm all done. I'm not doing it anymore. I can't feel my hands. It's in one of these songs, by the way. Go listen. Go listen to Eric's latest stuff. I forget which song is in. He talks about his hands. And of course, the media is like, he's still alive. He's still alive. Look, this has nothing to do with alcohol, but I'm sure Eric did some blood detox. I'm 100% sure he did everything he could possibly do after that. He's Eric Clapton. So I'm hoping, because he has the resources, he did everything he could possibly do to mitigate this apocalyptic nonsense, this depopulation nonsense. I'm hoping. I'm pretty sure he did, but no apology at all to this guy, because they're still thinking the same way. I'm trying to figure this out. Like, wouldn't you come back and say, you know what? We were wrong. He was right. And especially after he did do this thing twice. So if you do this a couple of times and you have problems, I guess you're supposed to shut up and go away, or you're supposed to die, which I'm sure that happened a lot. Okay. And they're all worried about statistics. And don't you believe that this killed so many people? Kennedy, hey, Kennedy, answer the question. I don't know. It killed people, yeah, but a lot of times it was something else, or somebody had a comorbidity or something, and you guys just all chalked it up to one thing. Not to mention how unhealthy our society is. So if something that does, escape from a lab or something, and it does some serious harm to people, it's going to do a lot more damage, because, people are eating blue Takis all day. It's just, no, you've got to eat healthier. You've got to take care of yourself. You have to exercise. Stop eating junk food, maybe, and your life might get better. But look, bottom line in this video, I know I've gone in all different directions because this pretty much opens up everything that I care about that has gone on for the last few years in this crazy gaslit society. So gaslit on so many topics, and people, oh, I'm going to CVS again. It's great. I'm gonna do my fourth one, and then I'm gonna post it. Got my little bandage. Look at me, virtue signaling. I got another one. I'm protecting my family. I don't know if you're protecting your family. I think it could be the opposite. Could be the opposite. But you can't have that opinion. And Eric Clapton had a different opinion based on his own personal experiences. He's not allowed to have that opinion. And did you hear what he said 50 years ago about a certain group of people and this and that in this context? And if we can just conflate those things and make him look like a lunatic, yeah, make him look crazy. And then tell his fans he's he's totally off his rocker. Oh, and then make sure Joni Mitchell is higher up on that guitar player totem pole than Eric Clapton. Because he's not a chick. He's a dude. So, and I'm just going to be honest, he's the wrong color. He's the wrong color, and he's, if he were I don't want to go down this road. I don't. Because it's so obvious. It's so obvious, and it's so stupid. And you run out of gas after a while. And you want peace. You want peace, and you want people to respect your views. You don't want to be branded as insane. There are millions of people worldwide who were injured by this. And what did they do with those people? How do they treat those people? The gaslighting, and I think it's all in your head. Really? It's all in my head, huh? So you think I'm crazy because I had a reaction to something that you told me I had to do? Okay. All right. Cool. And you wonder why depression, suicide, you wonder why these things are all on the increase. Because when your world, the one that you are manufacturing for me, makes no sense to me, I don't know if I want to be in this anymore. I'm just going to check out because you people, you don't believe me. You think I'm crazy and you're making stuff up. So that's it. So Eric Clapton is a hero. He's a hero, not just because he's an amazing musician. Probably because of longevity, people will say Jimi Hendrix, but Jimi Hendrix had kind of a short run, didn't he? Didn't he have kind of a short run? He's a great player, original player. It's politically correct to love Jimi Hendrix. I do love Jimi Hendrix because he was a great player. But Eric Clapton's body of work screams more than his guitar does that he's the greatest living guitarist on planet Earth right now. All right? So I would say that even if he and I didn't have some back and forth conversations, and I've been fortunate enough to interview or just talk with him and then record it. Basically, we talk, I hit record. It's spontaneous, and we talk about whatever we want to talk about. And Eric is more concerned about some of the things going on in the world right now. He'd rather talk about that, I think, than anything that has to do with music. But here's the deal. This could be his last go-round here in the United States. He's 80 years old. He seems to be pretty healthy. And so I pray that he keeps going and that he'll come back and that maybe someday he and I can hang out together. But the bottom line is that the media globally should be apologizing to him and everyone else who they made out to be villains when, quite honestly, they were courageous and they were heroes. They weren't villains. They were the good guys. Trust the experts. Yeah, okay, sure. You go trust the experts. I'll do my own research, my own homework. I will look at many different sources, and then I'll form my opinion. I won't listen to a bunch of lemmings telling me to go over a cliff. That was 2020 and 2021. Yeah. For the rest of my life, I'll never do that again. I don't trust you guys at all. And those of you in the rock media and in the media in general, you guys better start wising up. You're not wising up. You're doubling down in many cases. And if you continue to support people who lie and obfuscate and gaslight, you're going to be even more irrelevant than you currently are, which is hard to imagine because you're already below zero. You can't go much lower. All right. So good luck with that. I don't think that's a real money-making proposition either. If you only care about the greed, if you only care about making money, that's not a money-making proposition to keep lying to people. All right? Just throwing it out there. Me, just some village idiot here with my camera, right? Just doing what I'm doing. All right? No, a basic nobody can say more in a 5 or 10-minute video than you guys have said in 5 years. Try to be honest. Try to do a little reporting. Do a little digging. Find out where the money is going. Right? And we all know where it's going, whether it's Pfizer, Moderna, Raytheon, Northrop Grumman, General Dynamics, Moderna. Did I say Moderna already? I don't know. I can't think of too many of those companies. But there's a lot of corruption. There's a lot of corruption. And Eric Clapton, in his own little way, was out there fighting corruption. And he's a hero. All right? So that's it. I'm done. God bless Eric Clapton. I hope he has a great tour. He is like a salt of the earth character. And yeah.